Citi 97.3. Accra.
94, 95, 96. 97.3 Citi FM. It doesn't get any better than that.
Detailed news, unparalleled coverage. Citi News on 97.3 FM.
Eyewitness News. Be there as it happens.
Citi News.
.3 Citi FM. Hello, good evening, and welcome to Eyewitness News, coming to you live from our studio here in Accra. My name is Sami Wiafe, and tonight I am here with
Ejubi Wiafe Akenting.
Coming up in the next 1 hour, 30 minutes.
There is no restriction on the subscriber's choice of a bouquet. This offer is available to both existing, returning, and new customers from 1st October 2025.
The never-ending drama between MultiChoice Ghana and the Ministry of Communications over the latest bouquet announced by the satellite television company. Tonight, we hear from a new statement issued by DSTV. Also coming up on Eyewitness News.
So even though GS through the school dismissed or suspended the head, we are collaborating with the police to effect the arrest of the man.
The woes of the assistant headmaster of the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology Senior High School in Kumasi depends as gender minister moves in to get him arrested for fondling the breast of a female student. And later on Eyewitness News.
Inflation dropped to 9.4% in September, down from 11.5% in August, far below the 23.8% recorded in December 2024. This is the lowest rate in 4 years.
Inflation drops to 9.4% for the month of September as Ghana records single-digit inflation in years. Tonight, we ask, what does this mean? Stay with 97.3 Citi FM for more on this and other stories on Eyewitness News. Later coming up in business.
Cocoa farmers get relief as early season kickoff spares deliveries.
Eyewitness News is live on our affiliates across the country, around the globe. We are on citinewsroom.com talking about affiliates.
In the Western region, we are live on Premier FM 100.5 and Beach 105.5 FM, all in Takrade. In the Bono region, tune in to Greener FM 95.9 in Sunyane. In the Ahafo region, we are live on Hammers Radio 106.5 FM in Goso. In the Ashanti region, we are live on Orange FM 107.9 in Kumase. Tune in to Akpini Radio 96.7 in Pando and Heritage 107.3 FM in Hohoi, all in the Volta region. In the northern region, we are live on Dasuma 99.1 in Yendi. In the upper east region, tune in to Word 88.3 FM in Zwarungum. In the upper west region, we're also live on Westlink 88.1 FM in Laura. And in the northeast region is Eagle 94.1 FM in Walewale.
You can also join the conversation with your WhatsApp messages. The number is 0549 986 996. 0549 986 996. Ejubi will give us our first story.
MultiChoice Ghana has issued a public clarification stating that they fully support the government's recently announced DSTV value upgrade and that a misleading published on their website was an error. This comes after confusion among customers and media reports suggesting a contradiction between a government statement by Minister of Communications Samuel Nate George and a new 3-month DSTV promotion running from October 1 to 31st December 2025. In a statement released today, MultiChoice clarified 3 key points stating that the company fully supports the joint statement made by Samuel Nate George regarding the value upgrade for DSTV packages and has already started implementing it. Secondly, a review committee will meet again in 3 months to assess the impact of the initiative, suggesting that the rollout is being monitored and may evolve based on feedback and data. And finally, that the offer applies to all DSTV customers, new, returning, and existing, with no restrictions on which bouquet they can choose.
And then the minority in Ghana's parliament on the communications committee have also issued a statement on this particular issue. We'll go back and speak to them shortly and go back to this particular story from the DSTV, the latest on this DSTV matter. But before that, let's go to the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology.
Well, the Ministry of Gender, Children and Social Protection says it is working with the Ghana Police Service to facilitate the arrest of the assistant headmaster of KNUST Senior High School, Charles Akwesi Edu. This follows the circulation of a viral video on social media allegedly showing him in a compromising position with a female student. The Ghana Education Service has since relieved Mr. Edu of his duties pending further investigations. Speaking during the Vice President's working visit to the ministry, Sector Minister Agnes Namomolati said the move forms part of broader efforts to address child abuse and gender-based violence.
We have lots of reports on gender-based violence and then also child abuse. And because of the position of the ministry, we are able to collaborate with the police anytime such issues come up. Of recent is the report, Your Excellency, of the 13-year-old girl with the assistant head master. So even though GS through the school dismissed or suspended the head, we are collaborating with the police to effect the arrest of the man, the perpetrator. So these are some of the things, the challenges. But the good thing is that because there is more awareness of what abuse is, everyone, one way or the other, is becoming each other's neighbor.
You heard Minister of Gender, Children and Social Protection, Agnes Namomolati.
Let's go to the phone and speak to Mr. Bright Apia, Executive Director of Child Rights International, on this matter. Mr. Apia, good evening. Thank you very much for your time.
Yeah, good evening.
I'm sure you've seen this video yourself.
Yes.
Disgusting, I guess.
Yes.
The move by the minister to get the assistant headmaster arrested, a right call, you say?
Well, I don't really know the position that the minister holds in respect to that decision, or what made her to arrive at that decision. So I wouldn't want to contradict what she said, because if what we have, the investigation that we have conducted, the age that she mentioned, I don't really know if that is the age, but since she's in a better position to get a security briefing, we will go by it. So let's even admit that the girl is 13 years and is a secondary school, because the indication that we would also have is that the girl has completed school. I don't know what the position what the story is now. We are still investigating. So the issue of arrest, I think that is a right decision for the minister to do so, depending on the way and manner, some of the information that she has. So it's a bit complex. I wouldn't say that the arrest will be enough to address the matter. And as I've always maintained, the issue of whether Ghana Education Service has dismissed him or whether or not the Ministry of Gender, Children and Social Protection want to arrest him do not really speak to the core of the issue that we have to address. Our concern is that this is not the first time that is happening in secondary school or even primary and GHS level. And people always take advantage of children. So for us to really deal with this matter, then we need to take pragmatic steps to look at how best we can develop a policy that will safeguard the school environment. And that, for me, is what our focus should be, because the antics that we are playing around this is more or less is a bit deceptive in terms of the substantive matter that we have to address. So for us, whether they want to arrest or they want to dismiss, the subject matter is still at stake that we need to address, so that our children will not fall prey to scrupulous people who are within the teaching profession. So for me, that is what I'm looking at. But whatever step that they want to take, I think that they can do so. But from our end, we think that the real issue must be tackled.
The policy, as you mentioned, does it mean currently we don't have such a policy to protect our children in schools?
We don't. The whole point is that you have the professional code of conduct, which is the basis for which Ghana Education Service even dismissed the assistant headmaster. And if you look at the letter that they drafted, and you look at the past letters that they've also drafted, it's just the same. It's just that the only thing that you see is different people signing the letters. Then again, we don't have a safeguarding policy in our schools. So individual schools determine, and depending on the religious inclination or the belief of the school, that goes to the extent of determining the kind of punishment that you need to go. So if it's a Methodist school, they determine the kind of punishment. Is a Presbyterian or a Pentecostal, they determine. But I think that as a country, we need to have a very comprehensive safeguarding policy to deal with some of these issues, so that punishment can be ascribed to it. Because if you go to advanced countries, for instance, if this teacher has conducted himself in that manner, the safeguarding policy prescribes how you need to be treated as a teacher, irrespective of whether you'll be sacked or dismissed. You will still face the substantive law, so that people don't just think that they can take advantage of children, and then when we are using their professional code of conduct, then it means that we are dealing with the matter. I think that it's a bit deceptive. So let's speak to the core issues in terms of how we can prevent professionals who have been given the mandate to teach our children, and for this matter, the old children's standard of care, and how they can live up to expectation. That, for me, will deal with the matter, rather than we saying that we've dismissed, or we saying that we want to cause an arrest. Well, they are positive, but the substantive issue must be dealt with, and that, for me, is where our attention should be.
Mr. Pia, what will make an assistant headmaster, have such a relationship with a student brought under your care, to ensure that the person gets the education that is required? What will make such a headmaster or even an assistant headmaster do such a thing?
Yeah, because there's nothing to deter him, or there's nothing to remind him that what you are doing is against the law. And you see, there are a lot of things that people take for granted. So, for instance, somebody will say that, okay, if a child is above the age of 16 years, the law says that the child can give consent. So people think that, okay, you're under my care, you're above 16 years, so we are in a relationship and you have consented to it. For that matter, it's okay. But we have also forgotten that as a professional teacher, you owe the child a standard of care. And the only thing that can give meaning to that standard of care is when we have a safeguarding policy in our schools. Spelling out the relationship that must exist between a teacher and a student, student to student, and then student to other workers that work within the school environment and all that. So we don't have it. So people think that they can do whatever they want to do. And in most cases, when some of these things happen, depending on who you are, the school will decide whether they will do their investigation, and then either to silence the girl. Because if you look at the history of the girl, there are certain offenses that she has committed before, and certain actions were taken against her and all that. So you come to the point that even when it comes to the exercise of administrative authority, the children become more vulnerable, because at the end of the day, the question will be, what did you go to the assistant headmaster's office to do? Those are the things that will rather be answering, rather than dealing with the issue of how students and teachers must develop their relationship. Because at the end of the day, the state has an education strategic plan. And for the first time, we have also included in our strategic plan that the issue of child protection and child rights will be visible and expressed in our educational system. The only thing that we can do in respect to that, because you cannot go and teach child rights in the classroom, or you cannot teach child protection in the classroom as a subject. The way you can also do that, for it to be visible, for people to respect the best interest of children is to make sure that your safeguarding policy speaks to every single person that works in that environment. So that early morning when they wake up and they know they are going to school, they know that there are certain activities that you cannot carry out with a child. You go to advanced countries, nobody will tell you that if you're a social worker or you're a teacher teaching a nursery school, there's a way that you need to develop relationship with the children. If you are teaching at the primary school, there's a way that you can handle the children. And if you're also teaching at a higher level, there is a way that you need to develop relationship with our children. But in our case, we have just given them a blanket check, and they are deciding what to do with it to the extent that teachers can be bold enough to give it a title that when you are taking care of chicken, or you are taking care of animals, you definitely would want to catch one to consume. So these are things that for me are not going on well. So the issue of arrest, the issue of dismissal is not really addressing the subject matter that we have to address in our schools. And that is where we need to draw the attention of the authorities to, so that they will take pragmatic steps to deal with some of these things, so that we can make the school environment conducive and safe for development of our children. Because children are going through a lot. And where I said there are a number of things that have come to us. When you go and you want to follow up, you hear that they have transferred the teacher to another school, and you cannot even trace where the teacher has been transferred to for you to go and initiate the action that you want to take and all that. So these are things that are happening. And we can only bring some of these things under control when we have a social protection policy or a safeguarding policy that is guarding the way and manner our school system needs to be regulated and what we can do to our children.
Zabia, finally, before I let you go, when this issue came up, I saw people write on social media that, really, this is not the first time we are seeing this. And so why are we so worried about it in any way? How do you react to people, those people who...
Because it has become a norm, and society is gradually accepting it, that the child is always wrong. And that is painful. Because there are instances that children don't even have the right to even defend themselves in the presence of anybody. Because when the committee is set up, it's made up of teachers. There's no any social worker in there. It's not an independent body. Because at the end of the day, whatever happens, even if the teacher is at fault or if the adult is at fault, we tend to blame the child for having a bad behavior. That is why those things are happening to the child. But in our laws, there is no single child that you can describe as having a bad behavior. Anything that happens to children, the law is so clear on it that they have shown a deviation. And for us to correct that deviation, there's a path that you have to put the child on. And those paths, we have not clearly defined those paths. So people tend to do things on their own. So if you come and tell me that the child is at fault, or the child needs to be blamed, or it is normal, then probably you don't even know the existence of the law that protects the interests of children. Because there are a lot of things that, because if you look at the way the video was recorded and the information that we have about the video, it was a bit funny. So we suggest to me that the act itself was something that was in a compromised position. Because if you're a teacher and a child picks your own phone to record you, that probably is something that you have done over and over time. And probably the initial stages, the child might not like it, but with time, she will come to accept the fact that that's the reality and have to go through it. And that is what a lot of children have gone through, and now they are adults and there are certain things that they cannot handle within their own environment. So we should put a stop to this kind of argument that is normal, and we have to blame the children for this kind of act. We need to protect them, and that is our mandate, and that is what we need to do. And for me, those are the things that we have to stick to.
Mr. Appiah, thank you very much for your time. Bright Appiah, the Executive Director of Child Rights International. This is Eyewitness News, coming to you live from our studio here in Accra.
Now, Member of Parliament for Chifo Atimokwa, David Vondi, has apologized after facing backlash over comments he made about the viral video involving a suspended assistant headmaster of KNUST Senior High School. Speaking on Adom TV, the MP suggested the students had consented to the act, a remark that sparked public outrage. At a press conference, Mr. Vondi apologized, stating that his comments had been misconstrued and were not meant to justify or downplay the seriousness of the incident.
Portions of the statement I made during the discussion was taken out of context and was placed, and it was all over the place, which of course was suggesting that I sided with the head tutor in the relationship he had with the student. Ladies and gentlemen, I would want to plead with all of you and to all Ghanaians who may be watching me now that if that video played by Adum TV brought any discomfort to anybody, I apologize for that, comment. However, I never meant to side with the tutor.
You heard Member of Parliament for Trifua Timokwa, David Vondi.
This is Eyewitness News coming to you live from our studio here in Accra. We'll go for a quick break. When we come back, we have more stories.
Eyewitness News. Be there as it happens.
If you know these sounds, you didn't just live through the 90s. You lived the experience. Back then, connection took minutes. Today, it takes a blink. You express yourself with memes. You hold video calls across continents. You say hey to an AI who responds,
"Hello, Kwame."
You order rides, dinner, and dreams all from the palm of your hand. A lot has changed, so have we. For over 3 decades, EcoBank has evolved with you, leading digital banking in Ghana and across 33 African countries, pioneering solutions built around how you live, move, and dream today. From our express points to EcoBank Pay, online banking, and the mobile app, we are where you are. Here for today, ready for tomorrow. Now, that's change, powered by EcoBank.
EcoBank, a better way to bank your way. EcoBank, the Pan-African Bank.
Oh, jump on now. Go. Gugomi, at what time will you come back where I don't hear the sound of your car? Why you buy new car? No, I not change my car. It be the same right. It be the fuel where I change. Way one shouts it. Ever since I started using the all-new Excellium Premium Fuel, fortified with 3-in-1 action. Oh, Joe, now my car they run like electric car. No, it's so. This is the type of fuel where they want to. Cause now engine they cost. Where they want for way if I buy it, it go protect my engine. And with the small way I buy, I go drive, sir. Absolutely. It's like strapping a turbocharger to your engine and giving it a protector. And what they bust my mindset be the 3-in-1 action, no? Excellium they prevent up to 99% of deposit. It be anti-wear, some be anti-corrosion. Won't pay when I open there. Hey, so where can I find this magical fuel? Just head over to any Total Energy service station and your car will thank you. Hey, then make a finish my gobe fast, then rush go Total Energies. My friend, but why your hand my gobe inside? I give you info. Make a feel the gobe too small. Go. Excellium is designed to protect your car engine, decrease fuel consumption, and lower CO2 emissions. Don't say fuel, say Excellium. Choose Excellium, choose quality.
This year is going to be sweet. I don't just feel it, I know it, because the Luckiest Season 3 is back.
And I'm about to show you how to grab your golden ticket. Just dial *712# and follow the prompts to purchase your ticket. Or go to theluckiestafrica.com, hit community tickets, and pick your lucky number.
Or let the system do its magic. Choose how much you want to spend from 1 to 5,000 Ghana cedis. You can even buy a ticket for someone else. Be someone's hero. Payment? Easy. Mobile money in Ghana or card if you're international.
One ticket can turn 1 CD into 500 times more. That's maths we love. Or your community go win 10 times more. So let's get lucky together, because luck is everywhere.
Play responsibly, not for persons under 18 years. This promotion is regulated by the NLA on the Caritas platform.
Let your voice be heard on Eyewitness News on Facebook at facebook.com/Citi97.3, Twitter at twitter.com/Citi973, and Instagram at instagram.com/Citi973 with the hashtag Eyewitness News.
You're welcome back. You're still listening to Eyewitness News, coming to you live from our studio here in Accra. AGB has some more stories.
Ghana's consumer price inflation has dropped into single digits for the first time in 4 years, extending a 9-month streak of declines. The year-on-year rate eased to 9.4% in September 2025, down from 11.5% in August. According to the Ghana Statistical Service, the slowdown was largely driven by an ease in food prices, with food inflation falling to 11% in September from 14.8% in the previous month. Non-food inflation also edged down, easing to 8.2% from 8.7% in August. The sustained decline means inflation has already beaten the government's full-year target, offering relief to households and businesses.
The key takeaways also includes the following: that inflation dropped to 9.4% in September, down from 11.5% in August, far below the 23.8% recorded in December 2024. This is the lowest rate in 4 years and the 9th straight month of decline. Secondly, overall prices increased by 0.9% between August and September 2025, showing that while inflation is slowing, households still saw small price increases in the short term. Thirdly, food inflation fell to 11% in September, down from 14.8% in August. However, food prices increased by 0.6% between August and September 2025. Non-food inflation eased to 8.2% from 9.7% in August. Non-food prices, however, rose 1.1% month-to-month, meaning they rose by 1.1% between August and September 2025.
You heard government statistician Dr. Alhassan Idrisu.
Let's go to the phone line and speak to Professor Patrick, assuming he's an economist, to help us understand the latest figures as released by the Ghana Statistical Service. Prof, good evening. Thank you very much for your time.
Good evening, and good evening to listeners. Thanks for having me.
Exactly what does this mean? If the government statistician says inflation has dropped to 9.4% and a single digit, exactly what does it mean, sir?
So, the 9.4% is the year-on-year inflation for September 2025. What that number means is that between September 2024 and September 2025, on average, the prices of goods and services rose 9.4%. So if you take the 12-month period between September last year and September this year, the prices of goods and services rose by 9.4%.
So
now, the inflation in essence is a matter of the cost of living. So it means that the cost of living increased within that period by 9.4%. However, if you compare it to where we are coming from, it means the inflation rate is declining. It means that in previous months, the rate of increase in the cost of living was higher than it is for this current month.
So should consumers be excited about this, or they should be worried?
Well, now I think it's important that consumers don't misunderstand this to think that prices of goods and services are falling, because that's not the case at all. The inflation measures the rate at which prices are increasing. If you like, the speed with which prices are increasing. So if the inflation rate is reducing, it means that prices are increasing at a slower pace. So if you misunderstand that to mean that things are getting cheaper, then you'll be disappointed. In any case, notice that the inflation is a backward measure. It's after the fact. It's a thing that consumers have already experienced. Because as I explained, it's for the period 2020 between September 2024 and September 2025, which has passed. It's something that we've already experienced. So it's not. So the key thing is not to misunderstand this reduction to mean things are getting cheaper. Things are not getting cheaper.
In time past, we saw inflation rise close to 40 to 50%, and now we are recording a single-digit inflation. What could have been the turnaround in all this, sir?
Well, I think in the main, when you look at where we were, that was December 2022, when the recent peak was 54.1 or so, and where we are now, especially this year, we have begun to see a steady disinflation. That means a steady fall in the inflation rate. And if you look at the numbers carefully, you realize that this is essentially broad-based, because you see that over the period, both inflation on food items and inflation on non-food items have been reducing. And if you also look at it in terms of inflation on imported items versus inflation on domestically produced items, those ones are also decreasing. So whichever way you divide it up, you see that there's a general decline in the inflation rate. I mean, I think the key thing to note is that, in recent times, food inflation has been the major source of inflation. So the fact that food inflation is declining is quite positive. But we also have to understand that when it comes to food inflation, there are some seasonal patterns, because food has some seasonality. And when food is so when you get to months of August, September, sometimes October, we see that food inflation generally does better, because those are mostly the harvest season. But there's also the policy element. When you look at the fact that the monetary policy rate has been kept consistently high for a long time, that also helps to reduce overall demand within the economy and help bring the inflation down. So it's a combination of factors. We can also not discount the fact that the currency has been stronger this year, because when you talk about inflation on imported items, the currency, the strength of the exchange is one of the main determinants. And we've seen that if you compare to the start of the year, the Citi is relatively stronger than where we started. So all of these are factors that would explain why we've seen inflation come down to single digits.
But there are others who also counter the argument that even though we started the year with a significant reduction in the currency as far as the dollar and the Citi relationship, we are also seeing a steady, appreciation of the dollar. And a lot of people have also raised that by end of the year, we may have it go back to where it came from. Could that also been a factor in all this?
Well, I think it's true that we start, especially in March or April, May, June, we saw the city have a sharp appreciation. And then since then, especially in August and September, we've seen some form of reversal. It is more or less a correction. I don't think that we should see, even if we ended the year back where we started, then it means that the rate of depreciation of the currency over the year will be close to zero. I think as at this point, the currency has seen an appreciation. So I don't think that, in terms of where the currency is moving, personally, I'm not particularly worried. I think it's moving in the right direction, because the dollar selling for 10 was never going to be sustainable. One of the things to note about the currency is that what is very bad is to allow the currency to appreciate so sharply, or to allow the currency to depreciate so sharply. Then it makes it very difficult for businesses to predict where the currency is. What we are seeing now is more of a correction, but it's a correction that is controlled, because we are not seeing the massive swing that used to characterize the currency in the past. So I think it's a good thing. And, the currency appreciates, the currency as it sits now, where we stand now, if you compare it with the start of the year, it's still in a relatively strong position. So if you are looking at inflation over that period, you still see that, you can't discount the city's contribution, the contribution of the stability of the city to the disinflation that we are seeing.
Prof, this afternoon, President Mahama announced that Ghana or government intends to engage the U.S. government on the back of the 15% tariff announced by President Donald Trump somewhere in July. And the president says that they are on the verge of engaging the U.S. authorities and finding how best they can resolve this matter. If we hear anything positive in respect of this, will it help in turning around of the economy in any way?
Well, I think, first of all, if you look at the volume of our trade with the U.S., it is not, I don't think it's even exceeds 10% of our overall trade volume. That's not to say that, the tariff increment is not, the tariff increment will not bite. And we should understand it in broader context. It's not just the tariff increment. You know that for a long time, at least since the year 2000 or so, Ghana and some other African countries have been enjoying duty-free and quota-free access to U.S. market for some commodities, some products. It appears that the AGOA is going to be allowed to lapse. So, that gives us additional challenges. So, in some sense, some, especially non-traditional exports, are really going to suffer, which appears to be some of our major exports to the U.S. that is also supporting SME. The U.S., in particular through the USAID, they used to support development of small businesses, especially with regard to market access to the U.S. So I think if we make progress on that side, it will reduce the uncertainty, because at the moment, if you're a business who exports to the U.S., you're a little bit concerned, exactly what is going to happen. So I think bringing some negotiation and some discussion of bringing a finality to that, especially if Mr. Trump agrees to pause the process of imposing the tariff, that will definitely help for some levels of investment.
Finally, before I let you go, Prof, the issue of AGOA, we are told that, that laudable initiative is no more. And with AGOA going, would it have any effect on the Ghanaian economy in any way?
Well, yes. When I started by talking about duty-free and quota-free access, that's exactly AGOA. It has been in place since, I believe, 2000. It was Mr. George Bush who, during his tenure, that AGOA came into being. I think, it's quite unfortunate that AGOA appears to be is going to be allowed to lapse, because even though the volumes were not substantial compared to, or if you compare it with some of our major export items, it's still very important, especially for the non-traditional export sector, and some, supporting a lot of small businesses, allowing them to be able to have quota-free and duty-free access to the U.S. market, which is a very important market. So I think from that point, AGOA going out of or being phased out is going to be quite problematic. And then we hope that, by where it is, I think the time for renewal has already passed. It doesn't appear that Mr. Trump is keen to renew it. But I also use this opportunity to look at alternative markets and also pay more attention to the Africa continental free trade area. Trade more among ourselves. Because at the end of the day, that's what it is. When you have that kind of preferential access, it is unilateral. They can get up one day and say, we are canceling it. So I think it's important that as African countries begin to look at building stronger trade relations among ourselves going forward.
Prof, I'll say a big thank you for your time always. Thank you very much. Professor Patrick Osome is an economics speaking to us. They're helping us with the latest figures released by the Ghana Statistical Survey that says that Ghana's inflation has dropped to 9.4%. This is Eyewitness News coming to you live from our studio here in Accra. We go for a quick break. When we come back, we have more stories.
Eyewitness News. Be there as it happens.
Memo. It has made life happen in lots of good ways.
Mr. Kwanzaa, Minnesota insurance claim no.
It has put together beautiful weddings. It has filled the bellies of boys at their favorite watchy joint.
My guy, stop. Who they chop cancel these days?
It has made millions of businesses possible.
No. We are back in business.
With just a few taps, money moves faster, easier, and safer.
Momo understands the weight of your trust in us. We continuously enhance security with features like self-paying research to help you protect your money. Momo will only call you with 0244 300,000. No MTN or Momo staff will call or ask for your PIN or one-time password. Do not transfer funds to anyone whose identity you have not verified. Do not approve any prompts you have not initiated. Momo, still Munsaka.
The jamming never stops. The game never stops. The productivity never stops. The music never stops. At G&J, we keep your world powered with reliable generators, solar energy, and UPS solutions, so the power never stops. Your go-to for total energy solutions, making sure you work, thrive, and live life uninterrupted. Visit our website, gjtechghana.com, or call us on 0302 689 178 or 179 or 0202 222 220. G&J, your energy partner.
Oh, Jopana.
Go. Gugomi, at what time will you come back where I don't hear the sound of your car? Why you buy new car?
No, I not change my car. It be the same, right? It be the fuel way I change. Way one shouts it. Ever since I started using the all-new Excellium Premium Fuel, fortified with 3-in-1 action. Oh, Joe, now my car they run like electric car. No, it's so.
This is the type of fuel where they want to. Because now engine they cost. Where they want for way if I buy it, it go protect my engine. And with the small way I buy, I go drive, sir.
Absolutely. It's like strapping a turbocharger to your engine and giving it a protector. And what they bust my mind self be the 3-in-1 action, no? Excellium they prevent up to 99% of deposit. It be anti-wear, some be anti-corrosion. Won't pay when I open them.
Hey, so where can I find this magical fuel?
Just head over to any Total Energy service station and your car will thank you.
Hey, then make a finish my gobe fast, then rush go Total Energies. My friend, but why your hand my gobe inside?
I give you info. Make a feel the gobe too small.
Go.
Jopana. Excellium is designed to protect your car engine, decrease fuel consumption, and lower CO2 emissions. Don't say fuel, say Excellium. Choose Excellium, choose quality.
Let your voice be heard on Eyewitness News on Facebook at facebook.com/Citi97.3, Twitter at twitter.com/Citi973, and Instagram at instagram.com/Citi973 with the hashtag Eyewitness News.
You're welcome back. You're still listening to Eyewitness News, coming to you live from our studio here in Accra.
President John Dramani Mahama says government is taking decisive steps to tackle cyber fraud, including romance scams, by ensuring swift prosecution and sanctions for offenders. Launching the National Cybersecurity Awareness Month, the president describes cybercrime as a growing threat to national security and public trust. He added the government is working with local and international partners to strengthen efforts in tracking, investigating, and bringing offenders to justice.
The most interesting one is this guy who pretends to be a stammerer and says, so read the number for me quickly. They say, one. I wish that all our citizens will be that aware that your bank won't call you, your telecom provider won't call you and ask for your personal details. And so this is a very important month and a program. Some are romance scams, and recently we've been collaborating with our international partners. Our extradition treaties, we ship the culprits back. And so we'll continue to collaborate with all our global partners. Anybody involved in romance scams, whether you are a foreigner or you are a Ghanaian citizen, we will hand you over to be tried and punished accordingly.
You heard President John Dramani Mahama. Away from that, a petition has been submitted to President John Dramani Mahama demanding the removal of Supreme Court Judge Justice Yoni Kulendi over alleged judicial misconduct. The complainant, Daniel Mafo Oforiata, filed the petition yesterday and addressed it to the office of the president. He accuses Justice Kulendi of improper interference in proceedings at the High Court in the ambulance scandal case between the Republic versus KCL Atuforsen and 2 others. According to excerpts of the letter cited by Citi News, Mr. Oforiatta argues that the alleged actions of Justice Kulendi contravene provisions of the Code of Conduct for Judges and Magistrates. He contends that such conduct undermines judicial independence and erodes public trust in the judiciary. Now, Acting Chief Justice Paul Bafuboni has urged members of the judiciary to show greater urgency, impartiality, and consistency in handling cases related to illegal mining, drug trafficking, and abuse. Delivering the keynote address at the opening of the annual general meeting of the Association of Magistrates and Judges of Accra, Justice Bafuboni stressed the judiciary's central role in addressing some of the country's most pressing legal and social challenges.
The judiciary's mandate and responsibility in relation to calamity, environmental degradation, and drug abuse. As members of the judiciary, we are not policy makers, and we do not wield the enforcement powers of the executive. Yet our constitutional role is neither passive nor peripheral. We are the guardians of justice, custodians of the law, and interpreters of the nation's conscience. So our responsibilities in confronting these challenges include upholding the law. We must ensure that prosecutions related to illegal mining and drug trafficking and abuse are handled with seriousness, impartiality, and urgency. And I mean urgency. Where there is evidence, the law must be applied without fear or favor.
That was the Acting Chief Justice Paul Bafuboni. Now, the minority members of Parliament's Committee on the Communication and Information have accused the Minister of Communications, Digital Technology and Innovation, Samuel Nate George, of backtracking on his earlier stance regarding DSTV subscription price reductions. They argue that in a previous media engagement, Mr. George insisted that any negotiations with DSTV's Ghanaian and South African management teams would only conclude with at least a 30% price reduction, rejecting package upgrades as insufficient. However, the minority claims the minister has now shifted his position, raising concerns about consistency and accountability. In a statement signed by the committee's ranking member Matthew Nyindam, the minority demanded that the minister publicly explain why he abandoned his initial stance and account for the over 10,000 cedis the government has collected from DSTV since its inception. Now, the Ghana Water Company Limited is in the Volta region is warning that increasing turbidity in water sources is threatening its ability to treat and produce safe water. At a PRC public hearing in Ho, Chief Manager for Corporate Planning, Monitoring and Evaluation Michael Terrier says the company may soon be forced to rely heavily on its treatment processes if the situation persists, raising concerns over cost and sustainability.
What we have also noticed is that there is this little turbidity coming on that is making the situation worse for the kind of system we have arranged for Volta region, where we don't use coagulant. So the little turbidity that goes up, then we will stop production because we don't add alum. We don't have any way of adding alum or any of the coagulant. So the caution is that if we don't take care, we will soon become some where others are having so high turbidity in 50,000 and 30,000 ranges. If we don't stop people from what they are doing now, what we notice is that this is not about illegal mining, but it's a form of illegal mining because you are now mining sand by the river bodies, and so it is disturbing the water. So if you don't put a stop to this, it will also become another albatross on the neck of Ghana Water. If this is not stopped going forward, Ghana Water will start now introducing coagulant into water production in the Volta region.
You heard the Chief Manager for Corporate Planning, Monitoring and Evaluation at Ghana Water Limited, Michael Teria Kluche. The Teachers and Educational Workers Union table of the Trades Union Congress TUC has suspended its strike. The union had been on strike over the government's prolonged delays in finalizing and signing their conditions of service agreement. According to TEWU, recent engagements with government have been productive and steps are being taken to address their concerns. Speaking to the media, General Secretary of TEWU, King James Azotiba, warned that the union will resume its industrial action if Tuesday's scheduled meeting with the government does not produce positive results.
TEWU leadership held a meeting with the Fair Wages and Salaries Commission and our employer institutions. After a very constructive dialogue, the parties resolved to work towards an amicable solution to the concerns of the union. We are expected to meet the Fair Wages and Salaries Commission on the 7th of October 2025 to proceed with negotiations, conclude and sign the various conditions of service of the affected institutions of the TEWU of TUC membership. These form part of the agreed issues with the Fair Wages and Salaries Commission during our engagement. As a result of the positive development, TEWU has decided to suspend the indefinite strike action set from Wednesday, the 1st of October 2025, to allow for further discussions and implementation of the agreed terms. All TEWU members in the aforementioned institutions are expected to resume work by Thursday, the 2nd of October 2025.
That was General Secretary of the Teachers and Educational Workers Union TEWU of TUC, King James Azotiba.
Eyewitness News. Be there as it happens.
We asked Ghanaian business owners what they want from Old Mutual.
I want insurance and pension solutions that will protect my employees.
Your business growth is our business. For 180 years, we have partnered with businesses to protect and grow their most valuable assets. From tailored group life assurance protection to affordable pension plans, we've got your business and your employees covered. Contact your broker or call Old Mutual on 0509 551 609 today. Old Mutual, do great things every day.
Are you feeling tired after a hard day's work? Have you lost your appetite even for your favorite dish? Viral Blood Tonic is a nutritionally balanced, pleasant-tasting tonic fortified with iron and vitamins to boost your appetite and energy levels for high performance. Viral Blood Tonic, easy to take and good for the family. Viral from Danex Iting Starwin PLC. If symptoms persist after 48 hours, consult a physician. This advert is FDA approved.
Momo. It has made life happen in lots of good ways.
Mr. Kwanzaa, Mr. Insurance claim no.
It has put together beautiful weddings. It has filled the bellies of boys at their favorite watchy joint.
My guy, stop. Who they chop cancel these days?
It has made millions of businesses possible.
Mr. Kalono, we are back in business.
With just a few taps, money moves faster, easier, and safer. Momo understands the weight of your trust in us. We continuously enhance security with features like self-paying research to help you protect your money. Momo will only call you with 0244 300,000. No MTN or Momo staff will call or ask for your PIN or one-time password. Do not transfer funds to anyone whose identity you have not verified. Do not approve any prompts you have not initiated. Momo, still Wunsaka.
Let your voice be heard on Eyewitness News on Facebook at facebook.com/Citi97.3, Twitter at twitter.com/Citi973, and Instagram at instagram.com/Citi973 with the hashtag Eyewitness News.
Get the details. Every significant financial transaction, every market movement, and all the policies that affect your business. Citi Business News. Be informed.
Time now for Citi Business News on Eyewitness News. I am Ejubi Wiafe Akentela Settle for the details. Cocoa deliveries in Ghana increased in August after the country took the unusual step of starting the 2025-2026 crop season 2 clear months earlier than usual. The strategic move was to get cash into the hands of farmers faster and stabilize global supply. The earlier opening, which has eased financial pressures on cocoa farmers, has already led to a significant uptick in arrivals and provided much-needed relief to a market still grappling with tight supplies and recording high prices. The following report has more.
According to a Bloomberg report, arrivals to warehouses in the 4 weeks ending September 4 reached 50,440 metric tons, sharply higher than the roughly 11,000 tons recorded in the same period last year. Ghana, the world's second largest cocoa producer, has also raised the producer price by 4.2% to 3,228 cedis per 64 kilogram bag in the new season, a measure expected to reduce incentives for smuggling beans into neighboring countries where farmers are often paid more. The decision to front-load the season comes at a time when global traders are watching the West African supply closely after consecutive poor harvests created a major shortage and sent futures in New York to record levels last year. While some market analysts project a small surplus in the current 2024-2025 season, the market remains tight and prices are still trading above historical averages. Ghana has set a production target of 650,000 tons for 2025-2026 season compared to the 600,000 tons harvested in the previous crop year. Most of the beans are expected to be exported, though a portion will go to local producers. Ivory Coast, the world's top grower, is also due to announce its new farm gates price as its own season begins in October 1.
Emmanuel Pong Father Business Desk reports. The Ghana Statistical Service is urging government to channel resources into strengthening food storage, irrigation and transport systems as part of efforts to curb regional disparities in inflation. Fresh data from the GSS shows the Northeast region recorded the highest inflation at 20.1%, more than double the national average of 9.4%. By contrast, the Bono East region posted the lowest inflation at 1.2%. Government statistician Dr. Alhassan Idrisu at a press briefing in Accra said the sharp regional variations are being driven by differences in local supply, transport costs, and access to markets.
Though Ghana's inflation rate slowed to 9.4% nationally, the story is very different across the regions. In fact, some regions are seeing real relief, while others continue to face double-digit inflation. If you take the Northeast region, for example, it recorded the highest inflation at 20.1%, up from 15.1% in August. Prices there rose by an extraordinary 10% in a single month. That's between August and September 2025, showing just how quickly costs can surge when supply and transport conditions are tight. On the other hand, Bono East recorded the lowest inflation at just 1.2%, down from 6.1% in the previous month. In fact, prices reduced in this region by 1.1% between August and September. So that's a month on month. And this is actually offering some good relief for people in the region. Now, let's look at the big economic regions. And here I'm referring to Ashanti region, Greater Accra region, Eastern and Western region. All recorded inflation between 7 and 12%.
Government statistician Dr. Alhassan Idrisu speaking. Now, government says plans are underway to review the Cybersecurity Act to address emerging online threats. Speaking at the launch of the National Cybersecurity Awareness Month, Minister for Communication, Digital Technology and Innovation Samuel Nate George emphasized the need to curb the growing risk in Ghana's digital space.
Improves incident response, facilitates interagency collaboration, and enables the timely sharing of information to manage cyber threats effectively. Currently, guidelines for accrediting additional sectoral sets are underway. As we await the completion of this process, we look forward to expedited action for setting up the other sectoral sets in critical sectors such as energy, health, academia, transportation, and the military. This will significantly boost our national capacity to detect, mitigate, and recover from cyber incidents and attacks. As part of this national effort, the government remains fully committed to strengthening our legal and institutional frameworks. Due to the evolving nature of cybersecurity and the need to stay ahead of threats, the Cybersecurity Act 2020, Act 1038, is currently under review by the Ministry to ensure that our laws remain robust, responsive, forward-looking, and capable of addressing emerging threats.
Minister for Communication, Digital Technology and Innovation Samuel Nate George. GCB Bank PLC is stepping up efforts to boost gender diversity at the top level of its leadership with a new target of ensuring that at least 30% of positions on its executive committee are held by women by 2028. The move is part of the bank's newly launched Eagle Soar initiative, which seeks to empower women and promote inclusivity across the organization. Managing Director of GCB Bank, Farihana Hassan, says the time has come for the bank to fully harness the potential of women.
We've just launched what is, in my view, the most important initiative in the organization to create an enabling environment for our women to thrive and succeed. It's a problem across many organizations in the world, and you see people talking about he for she or gender diversity. So this is our roadmap towards achieving that. It's a human rights issue. We must make sure we develop and enhance the talent of our women to rub shoulders with the men. And like I indicated, this is not about women replacing men. It's about us all working together to ensure that we've got different voices around the decision-making table. So this is a holistic program. It addresses all these deficiencies in women. So what this seeks to do is to map out what the developmental gaps are in our women and see how we can address those gaps. So never again would you have a role and you have to tell a woman to apply for it. They'll feel very confident to apply for those roles themselves. And we're very intentional, very deliberate around how we position them to take up these opportunities.
That was Farihana Hassan, Managing Director of GCB Bank PLC. Manager of the HR Business Partner Unit, Peter Yawo Bosrochi, adds the program will provide women with the tools and confidence they need to take on leadership roles.
What makes Eagle Soar unique is its recognition that career paths are not always linear. Sometimes it is the lateral and diagonal moves, the so-called myth of leadership, that powerfully propel women to the top. Leadership, as we affirm here, is about influence, visibility, and identity. Through the Shigo treaties, that is professional, personal, and partnership, we are equipping our women to lead with confidence and authenticity. This program is also a direct contribution to the Sustainable Development Goals, particularly SDG 5 and gender equality.
You heard Manager of the HR Business Partner Unit at GCB Bank PLC, Peter Yawo Bosrochi. And that's all for Citi Business News on Eyewitness News. I am Ejubi Wiafe Akente. Up next is Point Blank.
Eyewitness News. Be there as it happens.
Are you feeling tired after a hard day's work? Have you lost your appetite even for your favorite dish? Viral Blood Tonic is a nutritionally balanced, pleasant-tasting tonic fortified with iron and vitamins to boost your appetite and energy levels for high performance. Viral Blood Tonic, easy to take and good for the family. Viral from Danex Iting Starwin PLC. If symptoms persist after 48 hours, consult a physician. This advert is FDA approved.
The winning season is back, but this time
I am collecting the wins like jollof at a wedding. The luckiest season 3 is here. Your chance to flip your luck or maybe your bank account too.
2 easy ways to join. Dial *712#. Hit 1 to buy for you or 2 to gift a friend. Feeling lucky? Pick 1 for a random number or hit 2 to choose your own. Pay with mobile money. Done. You're in.
Or go to theluckiestafrica.com, click community tickets, choose your number or let the system do so for you. You can buy a ticket for your boo or your favorite barber. Pay with Momo or card if you're abroad.
1 ticket could turn your 1 Ghana Cedi into 500 times more. And the whole community could win 10 times over.
Dial *712# or log on.
Let's get lucky together because luck is everywhere.
Play responsibly. Not for persons under 18 years. This promotion is regulated by the NLA on the Caritas platform.
Oh, jump on now. Go. Google me. At what time when you come back where I don't hear the sound of your car? Why you buy new car? No, I not change my car. It be the same ride. It be the fuel way I change. Way one shouts it. Ever since I started using the all-new Excellium Premium Fuel, fortified with 3-in-1 action. Oh, Joe, now my car they run like electric car. No, it's so. This is the type of fuel where they want to. Cause now engine they cost. Where they want for way if I buy it go protect my engine. And with the small way I buy, I go drive, sir. Absolutely. It's like strapping a turbocharger to your engine and giving it a protector. And what they bust my mind self be the 3-in-1 action. No, Excellium they prevent up to 99% of deposit. It be anti-wear, some be anti-corrosion. One pair way now open there. Hey, so where can I find this magical fuel? Just head over to any Total Energy service station and your car will thank you. Hey, they make a finish my go be fast then rush go Total Energies. My friend, but why your hand my go be inside? I give you info. Make a feel the go be too small. The go. Excellium is designed to protect your car engine, decrease fuel consumption, and lower CO2 emissions. Don't say fuel, say Excellium. Choose Excellium, choose quality.
Let your voice be heard on Eyewitness News on Facebook at facebook.com/Citi97.3, Twitter at twitter.com/Citi973, and Instagram at instagram.com/Citi973 with the hashtag Eyewitness News.
For the common human.
You're welcome back. You're still listening to Eyewitness News. And this is Point Blank. Point Blank is brought to you by Valex Lease Equip Limited. Valex Lease affordable document management solutions. Tonight on Point Blank, we go to Parliament. The Public Accounts Committee of Parliament is sitting. Officials from ministries, departments, and agencies have been appearing before the Public Accounts Committee of the House. Officials from the Ministry of Trade appeared before the Public Accounts Committee of Parliament.
My name is Honorable Samson Ahi, Deputy Minister for Trade, Agribusiness and Industry, and MP for Mbodi.
Honorable Chair, my name is Noah Tumfo, Chief Director, Ministry of Trade, Agribusiness and Industry.
Honorable Chair, my name is Stephen Eko-Greaves, Director of Finance,
Ministry of Trade and Industry.
Honorable Chair, my name is Margaret Ansei, CEO of Ghana Enterprises Agency.
My name is Bafo Ekufu Ankama, Director of Finance, Ghana Enterprises Agency.
My name is Emmanuel Frifa, Internal Auditor, Ghana Enterprise Agency.
My name is Matthew Azoya, Regional Manager, GE Northern Region.
Okay, your first infraction is at paragraph 1954, rent in arrears. And Honorable Nasser will take care of that one.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. Rent in arrears, Ministry of Trade. Honorable Minister, we have institutions or entities that are occupying our premises as a country, and most of them are owing us to the tune of $9.094 million and also $134,000. I would like to find out from you, are they still occupying the premises? You can check it from Appendix O. The institutions, are they still occupying the premises?
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, not all of them are currently occupying those premises.
Okay. Chief Director, in your response, you said you've written to management, has written to all the entities in question. May I know when you wrote these letters? Respectfully.
Honorable Chair, the letter to the entities was it August? It was in May. The notice to the tenants and occupants was in May, 7th May 2025.
Chief Director, we have institutions here which made payment as far back as 2020, 2017, and you wrote to them in May 2024 when they were owing us.
Thank you very much, Honorable Chair. Respectfully, we undertook an exercise. We wrote to the Ghana Audit Service in March to help us do regularize the list of occupants with assets and then the outstanding payments. And so we've been working with the audit service before our attention was drawn to the infractions. So we were dealing with this before we were invited.
Chairman, Mr. Chairman, just to add that the Chief Director assumed office in March 2025 this year. And so it's not as if he has been in the ministry throughout and then he didn't act on the issue.
Chief Director, have you seen any correspondence to any of these debtors in your handing over notes? Respectfully, I didn't see individual letters, but in the handover notes, my attention was drawn to the fact that we had outstanding payments from some of the occupants of our assets. Now, your colleague who was there before you took over, is he still with the government? He is on retirement. He's on retirement? Yeah. Have you tried to get him to help you understand what is going on and then try and recover these? Because it's mind-boggling. I mean, we have October 2016, March 2017, and lots of them 2023. So what effort was put in to collect these amounts? Honorable Chair, respectfully, we have contacted him, and that is why in March I wrote to the Ghana Audit Service to help us to properly work on these documents, especially because the handing over notes, that was the ministry's handing over notes, did not include the immovable properties. Now I say, please continue.
Chief Director, in your submission, you said you've written to the entities. Have they acknowledged your letters?
Honorable Chair, a number of them have acknowledged. So what we intend doing is, for those who haven't acknowledged, once we complete the work we are doing with the audit service and we have a reliable data, we'll use all the legal means at our disposal to retrieve the amounts.
Chief Director, we have institutions like APSA, EcoBank, Dignity, DTRT. They do a lot of exports. GN Foods. What is stopping us from recovering our money? Auditors, please can you confirm the said amount?
Honorable Chair, so far an amount of 1,282,480 cedis.78 has so far been recovered.
Honorable Chair, respectfully, we are still undertaking the exercise with the Ghana Audit Service, so I would rather wait for them to finish. Then within a month after their work, we'll do the needful.
So please give us the timelines. When are they going to finish? And when are you going to recover all the monies, please?
Honorable Chair, by the close of the year, by December 31st, we should be reporting on what we have been able to do to recover the amounts.
Chief Director, you keep emphasizing the point that you are doing a work with the Ghana Audit Service. First and foremost, have you cited contract documents between the agency or the ministry and these individuals? Because the Audit Service obviously never gave out these properties to rent. You did. So obviously you should be having the documents so that you can probably be verifying these documents so that you can chase the money. The Audit Service obviously will just be looking at the numbers and the documentations in your books. So have you seen contractual documents?
Honorable Chair, we've cited a number of contractual agreements, and that's what we are working on. So those that we are not able to get, we are trying to use other means to get information about them. Okay, so you've collected about 1 million, 1.2 million. Keep at it and make sure that you collect as much, collect all the rent. But you use the language that you collect every peso. Parliament, that's not a parliamentary language because we'll hold you to it, every peso. But you collect as much as you can on it. And those who wouldn't pay, we'll find a way of getting them to pay. All right.
Madam Chief Director, respectfully, don't make it look as if it is the work of Audit Service. It is your work. So take that responsibility off the Audit Service. They are there to audit. They are not there to help you, retrieve monies that you have given to, or monies that people owe you. It is your mandate. So you do that, and they only come in to validate whether the numbers are correct and the documentation is right. So don't give Audit Service anything that is outside their mandate. It is your responsibility as the Chief Director to do this work. So desist from, we are asking Audit Service, we are asking Audit Service. Their mandate is clear. So it is your mandate to make sure you get your documentation right, you do what is expected of you, and you retrieve the monies for your ministry.
Thank you very much. All right, the next infraction is on paragraph 1958, payment without pay vouchers. And that is Ghana Enterprise Agency in Tamale. And Honorable Akwesi Kunedu will handle that one.
G. Tamale. This has to do with payments you made without payment vouchers to the tune of 628,000 Ghana cedis. Were these payments effected at your district or your region? The 628,000 Ghana cedis.
Mr. Chairman, the head of accounts, AG, will respond.
Honorable Chairman, so we didn't push it. Honorable Chairman, the payments were effected at the regional office.
At the regional office in Tamale.
Honorable Chairman, that's right.
Okay, good. I asked this question based on paragraph 1960. The reason that the accountant gave, and I would want to read that to you. The accountant stated that it has been the system he works with and same he reports to the head office, that he makes payment without payment vouchers. That is what the accountant says. How can you make payment without payment vouchers?
Honorable Chair, we spoke to the accountant and the regional manager at the regional office, Tamale. They indicated that that wasn't the response that he gave, but the PVs were available.
And did they give the PVs to the auditors?
Yes, they saw the infraction after they gave them the observation. So immediately they gave them the observation, they responded and they gave out the PVs to the auditors.
Within the 30-day period that they wrote the management report?
It was at the observation level. They gave the PVs, I think about 3 days after the observation were given.
So it was even before the management report?
Rightly so.
And you are here telling us, and still the auditors found it necessary to put it into the report that they never saw these PVs. Auditors, the accountant is telling us that they gave you the PVs, but you still kept it in the report.
Honorable Chair, that is not the case. We had the PVs after the report, which our team have been able to go through all the PVs. They have reviewed all of them, and no exception has been noted, which means that that matter has been resolved. But it came after the report.
So, accountant, director, you had the response of the auditors. It was given after the audit and even the observations and the management report, because obviously they would not have put it in the report.
Honorable Chair, the issue actually happened at the regional office, that is Tamale. And according to the regional manager and the accountant, that was the case. They gave the response to the auditors after they gave them the observation.
We would have been glad for them to have been here, because you see now, it is just your word of report against that the auditors. And we will sway to the side of the auditors, because they would obviously not do this. If the PVs were there, they would obviously have cited them, gone through them, verified, and just cleared these things. Because they will say that because they are not coming here, they don't give a hoot about it. Chairman.
Thank you very much. So, auditors, everything has been cleared, right? Okay, thank you very much. Minister of Trade, you are discharged. Now we'll call Ministry of Tourism and Creative Arts. Please, have you taken the oath, please?
I swear by the Almighty God.
Swear by the Almighty God.
That the evidence I shall give before this committee. Touching the matter in issue. Shall be the truth. The whole truth. And nothing but the truth. So help me God.
Honorable Minister, introduce yourself and your team, please.
Yeah, thank you very much. My name is Honorable Yusuf Jaja, MP for Ayawaso North, and also Deputy Minister for the Ministry of Tourism, Culture and Creative Arts.
My name is Joseph Kwesiamua, the Chief Director of the Ministry.
Honorable Minister, Honorable Chair, my name is Solis Buame, the Director of Finance at the time of the audit.
My name is Vitus Otto Langmani, Director, Human Resource Management.
Honorable Chair, my name is Aminu Abdullah, the current Director of Finance.
Honorable Chair, my name is Senyor Kwesi Owusu, CTO, Tourism.
All right, your first infraction is on. Turn off the mic, please. Your first infraction is on paragraph 1942, and Honorable Abna Osayasa will take care of that one.
Honorable Deputy Minister, what is CTO?
Honorable Chair, Chief Treasury Officer.
Chief
Treasury Officer.
Okay, thank you. So unpresented payment vouchers to the tune of 130,000 Ghana cedis. May I know if you have been able to present it to the Auditor General and why the delay?
Yeah, thank you very much, Honorable Chair. Yes, we have been able to present all the necessary documents, and the delay, according to my briefing, was as a result of a renovation that took place at the ministry then, as at the time of the audit. But later they found all those documents, and same was presented to the audit.
Audit Service, can you please confirm?
Honorable Chair, the PVs have been presented and duly reviewed.
The next one has to do with unsupported payments. There are quite a number of payments here that, according to the audit service or the auditors, did not have any supporting documents. And so they recommended that the acting chief director should recover the total amount and pay same to the Auditor General's recoveries account. May we have an update on that one, please?
Thank you, Honorable Chair. As explained earlier, per my briefing, so far all receipts, invoices, and reports have been retrieved and duly submitted to the external auditors.
Honorable Deputy Minister, this is a peculiar one. In terms of the requirements, they said they did not see signed attendance sheets, minutes of the meeting, reports of the programs, activities, signed claim sheets, and receipts to authenticate the payment. And so, where was the attendance sheets when the auditors were there? Where was the minutes of the meetings, the reports, when the auditors were there? Or because you were innovating, you still... And that cannot be, Madam, don't nod your head, because that cannot be that excuse. The auditors have come, they are asking for, you made payments to the tune of 282,000 Ghana cedis, and they are asking for minutes of the meeting to prove that truly these things took place, and they couldn't find it. And another, the reason you are giving me is that because you were innovating, you had put them elsewhere. But when it comes to issues like this, you should always have it handy and ready. So, auditors, can you please confirm whether you now have the signed attendance sheets, the minutes of the meetings, reports of the programs and activities, and the signed claim sheets as well?
Honorable Chair, these relevant documents were subsequently made available, which we have verified.
Thank you.
Okay, the next infraction is on paragraph 1948 on competitive procurement. And what happened over here? Honorable Minister, I would suggest those who were there with you, those who are there with you, who were there at this time, answer these questions, please. Let them answer it. Because this question will call for prosecution.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. Respectfully, by then, she just came in. I think several attempts were made to find out why competitive tendering was not used in undertaking those procurements, but they couldn't get any answer. But what she decided to do is, based on the auditor's report, going forward, they've all been now aligned to use competitive tendering in our activities.
Auditors, most of these are for hotels that they went to. And because they went to Elkin Hotel, Aruba Hotel, Coconut Grove, and what was all these happened?
You had members of the Public Accounts Committee in their engagement with officials from the Ministry of Trade and Industry. The sitting of the Public Accounts Committee of Parliament today. And this is where we draw today's curtains down on Point Blank that came to you live from our studio here in Accra. Remember, Point Blank is brought to you by Valex Lease Equip Limited, Valex Lease Affordable Document Management Solutions. And this is where we end today's edition of Eyewitness News that came to you live from our studio here in Accra. My name is Sami Wiafe. Earlier, you heard Ajibi Wiafe show produced by Kwabena Wilson and Bevelyn London. So we come your way again tomorrow. May the good Lord be with us all.